choose our speaker. We will discuss on organizational development. Let's welcome Dr. TPS Sasikumar from India.
Namaskaram, my brother, Professor Mario. Thank you for this invitation. And I'm glad that I'm addressing it was not, yeah, now it's open here. The topic of discussion today is customer relations, right? Yeah, such a wonderful topic because every business deals with the customer relationships. Now I am into a business of talking about the customer relationships, but I am not seeing my customers in front of me. So I am doing a I know. I know. Yeah, I know. So what happens is the customer relationships is a good business in which we have two varieties of business which generally deal. One is product and another one is service. Every business, if you understand what is the major two portions of business, one is product, next one is service. In both, if I want to do well in my customer service, the ultimately business development, the essential part of business is customer service, in which either it is a product or a service, customer relationship is the most prime important activity. What is business? There is a product which I have to take to people. A product taking to people, one of the M, which is the major M's in business, material, money, man, mission. The last one is market. The product needs to be taken to people, that is market. So in that component of the market, the relationship comes into picture, because the producer need not, but there can be agents, there can be people who are the mediators in any fashion. The relationship between the producer and the user, the end user and the producer, it can be obtained by different strategies, different methods, different ways. That whole together is called CR, customer relations, and that management subject, which is called CR, in short form it is called CR. And best relation, when I am doing a business, if I give price debates, coupons, all that can be good in terms of developing my customer relationships. What do I get as Dr. TPS when I am talking to my students, or maybe I am selling my product as my lecture? What is that relationship which I am expecting? The feedback which comes from my participants. One liner which says, oh, the lecture is good, it was useful, it was interesting, it was enjoyable. Not good enough. If that customer, that student, that participant, that person who is with me in my class continues with me for longer time, that shows, oh, there is a good relationship between the teacher and the student, the college and the student. So the relationship can be between, this is a service activity which I am doing. It could be selling a product. See, when somebody sells a product, definitely they capture all the details about that buyer and continues with all the messages. There is an update, there is a software update. These are all customer relationships. So there is a transactional, the transaction between the student and the teacher, the service person and the receiver of the service, the buyer and the product seller, the buyer and the manufacturer, the buyer and the agent, or in between some agents. What is that? Once you buy and you don't talk to them, once you listen to the class, don't talk to the teacher, do you call it as customer relationships? No. What is customer relationship? A long-term strategy, a long-term relationship is called a customer relationship. So customer relationship is always intended, expected to be a long-term activity. And that, oh yes, it can be personal. It need not be just because I have a product. No, customer is an individual or an institution. The producer is an individual or an institution. The relationship, when you talk about it, is between the individual to individual. The represented person of an institution, how they talk to somebody else. So it's all personal. Relationship is never between institutions. Though it is between institutions, the head of the institution, the person who is talking to each other, all that matters. So there is a personal touch, a personal assistance, and there are dedicated people who can talk to, or there may be designated people who can talk to. It not necessarily always between an institution to institution, always can be between a service entity, a assistant, a producer, a buyer, and sometimes that person need not be an individual who is with the flesh and blood. It could be an automated service in this 21st century, third decade when we are talking. You must be very careful when I am using words. I'm very carefully I use it. I like to look at somebody, look at the words which I am using and come back to me with questions. I don't say 21st century. I say third decade of 21st century because centuries are too long a time. Decades are much faster. And in this digital scenario, in this world of fast movement, we should not talk about 21st century. We should talk about third decade of 21st century. So I keep saying I am living in the 3-2-1 era. Third decade of 21st century, 3-2-1 era. So in that, customer and the seller or the agent or the service person can be an automated equipment. That's good enough, because most of the time you hear when you telephone and then talk to somebody, customer service, what you are listening is only recorded versions. So it could be communities, it could be individual. The core relationship is a very, very essential to understand. So how do you build this relationship and make it much better? Every day, every moment, I keep posting all what happened for last 10 years, because my digital record is only maybe 2020 onwards I recorded, but on Facebook, which is live today, because earlier it was Orkut. I keep talking to people on a platform called Orkut long back, and I created a book on Orkut discussions with my students. So this is my customer relationship book. Every feedback which I got, every questions which I got, every answer which I gave, everything is recorded and maintained in a book. This is a great asset for me because all that I recorded and kept it in a book form is still available. Otherwise, Orkut closed its account. The digital accounts can go. Data is still existing, but the platform, the software, the app which is used for communicating is lost. So imagine you are using an application for customer relationship. No, not good enough. You have to store that and then keep it. In this phone, I must have changed the hardware maybe 10 times or 20 times in the last 20 years, mostly more than 10 times, 100% sure. 10 times I changed my telephone. But all the contacts 20 years back, any student who contacted me is still with me. And what do? I keep a record in which style I will save the number on the day somebody contacted me. So 2015 April 9th, if somebody contacted me, what do I do today? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I will send a message to them 7 years back, on this day you were with me. So when I have a Facebook, you can look at my DrTPS Facebook. Send me a WhatsApp on this number. I'll send you my link on Facebook. You can see every day I post what happened last year, before that year, before that year. Sure, if Facebook is existing and social media, some mode of communication is existing, I post it on my tweet, I post it on my LinkedIn. What happened on this day last year, 10 years back, 15 years back, what happened? Look at me next year on the same day, 2022, 9/4, I am talking to you on April 9th. 2023 April 9th, I will post this video, record it and post it onto my YouTube saying, last year I was with the Philippines with almost 1,000 audience on a topic called customer relationship. Because I believe as a teacher, as a social service person, talking to public in the world, I need to get in contact with them. And that contact I keep relating. And this is the better relationship. The key to the success of anybody is to keep the contacts and remind them on this. That is because we have an empathy, we have a listening ears, not hearing, listening ears, keep into the heart, take it back, add your relationship, refer them to somebody else, and keep helping people around you. So there is a canal, there is a channel which can go from one individual to one individual to an institution. The Lead Philippines, the program, Professor Mario and me, these are relationships. But then when Professor Mario connects me to multiple people, I get multiple channels in case my students talk to me. So a product goes to a shop, the producer and the seller is in contact. But when the seller sells it to many people, the multi-channel opens up there. And there is a cross-channel relationship. In customer relationship, you will hear all these words. I am explaining it into a very rudimentary everyday activity. How do you relate to these terminologies? You can relate to any millionaire business to a small short term business which happens on a roadside also. The same principle applies. And then assume that I get connected to somebody and that person attended one of my another seminar. That's how I got connected to Professor Mario. We were together on a platform on some program, we got connected, we started discussing, and then it not only the organization who connected all of us will start talking. There will be a omni-channel and there will be a multi-channel, there will be a cross-channel, all that can happen. So there is a service center which talks to a client, a website which talks to a client, and it can be a mobile tablet or maybe anything which you want that can talk to the client. Client is the customer. We are talking about customer relationship. So I connect to the service center, I connect to the website, I connect to the telephone call chats, I can connect to the source, the salesperson, the distributor. I can connect to a catalog, understand every detail. That's also a relationship. A book becomes, a document becomes a speaker for me. A book is a speaker because the author is talking to me. That's how I look at it. And it can be the sales corner or the producer or anybody. Now today, every service, when you talk to service, today morning I went to one of the laboratory with my wife for a testing. Immediately the doctor understands, doctor talks, and then assume that the specialist is not there. They connect to a doctor online and then talk to them. So we have got telephone doctors today. The customer service in 21st century, third decade, especially after the COVID, it has become telephone doctors. But I don't see my doctor. The doctor may not see the patient. It is only the audio. Sometimes if required video, fine. And that, when I am talking to my person as an institution, somebody is running, earlier doctor means I have got a personal relationship. That is gone now. It has become only an entity who is listening to me. So the telephone doctor becomes a relationship where I trust the agency who connects me to the doctor. Because physically I went to a laboratory, the laboratory connected to my doctor. So I am opening up. Why am I opening up? Because I have a trust. All customer relationship depends on trust and depends on the experience which I have. Assume that I had a bad experience of talking to somebody, then definitely I don't talk to somebody else on telephone. I physically wanted to see them, I cross-check with somebody else. The customer influence the relationship on practical basis, comparative basis. Theoretically, maybe I will look at what is the ranking given by somebody else. That's how I buy today. Most of the items which I buy on Amazon, what first thing I do is I look at how the customer rated it. Right? So these are all technical parts. There is a rational number of, how much is the rating? When I wanted to see a movie, as a customer, as a viewer of a movie, what do? I look at the rating given and then says, 3.2 out of 5. No, I don't want to see. Everything above 4.7 only I will see the movie. So there is a rational influence. So customer relationship based on one parameter which called a rational influence. Everything is on statistics, mathematics, analysis, technology, theoretical. And most important, traditionally what is being followed is not this rational. It is all emotional. I am here because there is a relationship between me and Dr. Mario. And that relationship is a emotional bondage. So what is required? You need to understand people. You talk to them. If the relationship is not good, probably yes, we don't talk to people. So emotional part of customer relationship is very, very, very important. But just emotional, somebody is too good to me, but the service provided by the person is not good, then what do I do? Suppose I have a problem and then I approach my washing machine is not working. So what do? I call the customer service. The customer service picks up. I'm so glad the first call itself, the first ring itself, there was a response. The telephone got connected. Wonderful. I feel so happy. As a customer, I'm so happy. But what I'm hearing is only a music asking me to wait. Response time is too less. Though the telephone got connected, connecting to the service person or the call center, who is the mediator today, takes longer time. Because they have multiple channels, but the answering call and the next level, sometimes you say which language you want, press 0, it takes longer time. So I look for the average response time. The first response time, average response time. Look at the speed in which I am able to capture their attention. Attention is got. I told the problem. Yeah, but then they say in 48 hours I will call you back. They don't say that they are going to solve the problem. I will call you back. That means they are going to assign somebody else and that person will come and attend, do a inspection and then find out my problem. See, 48 hours. The problem resolution time will be much bigger. Response is not the first, not the average response time, but when that service person comes and look at my equipment. The speed matters today. We wanted to move faster. So the customer satisfaction depends on the resolving time, the problem resolving time, the attending time, resolution of the problem. All these matters. So there is a statistics which is kept by the agency who is the mediator sometime from the product. And everything is recorded. Sometimes you can hear, oh, we are recording this for the quality check, for the purpose of understanding how the customer relationship was. That means it is given to a third party to look at. The service is given to a third party by the producer. The sales is given to a third party by the service provider. It's all changing. Everything is getting automated. And this needs a good clarity, good accuracy, good transparency, good accessibility, and probably that is the empowerment which is available for. I will look for not the product alone now. The product may be fantastic, but service is too bad. There is no transparency. The quick response is not there. Then, oh, I say, the rating is too bad. Everybody starts commenting. The comments are looked at before buying the product, not the product quality, the service, so what do we do? Assume that I am going to a hotel, a restaurant for having something. There is a big queue because 5 people are only serving and all of them are seated. So what do the management do? They have a self-service counter open. If you are in a hurry, go and stand there. Now you can see in the big malls, not necessarily you have to go to the counter where the service person is there. You have a self-checkout. Swap everything because everything is automated. That's the beauty of the computerization automation. And then payment is also through a card. So self-service is one of the most advanced way of doing business. But the problem is you are not even having a personal contact. So what I said is this is all very good. But what is lacking today? The personal contact, the friendliness is missing. The efficiency is not counted by the people. Efficiency is counted by the equipments and the software. Sometimes you get a live chat. Sometimes you get over phone. Sometimes it can be voicemail. Sometimes it can be only email. So which one you like it? Do you like the customer relationship between the people and the person in contact? So you can see the earlier generation, or maybe somebody like me who is in the new generation also. I don't care whether I get a certificate, but I love to get the feedback from the participants talking to me, appreciating. That's a personal relationship. It's not the money what is paid. It is always the relationship. So customer relationship, it's based on the market, based on the sales, based on orders, based on support, the delivery systems, the marketing can be the campaign. The campaign can be between the relationship. You can see most of look at the advertisements which is happening. So you carefully watch the way the advertisements are being produced. Today for marketing, you can see there is a touch of personal touch. If that personal touch is missing, people don't get attached to the product. Similarly, the support system. Yeah, sometimes the way you answer, good communication. It's very, very essential to understand how do you communicate to the customer. The salesperson, how do you communicate is the way the sales happens and the orders happens. So these are all part of customer relationship. It's not after sales, from marketing, from sales. It starts from all this, from the support, from the order, right? That is how the relationship is. So build your customer relationship with an aim. What is the aim? The richest man, the best man who does lot of activities with money, fully into the share market. I know the people who are here must be remembering that person. I'm not naming him knowingly. I want all of you to Google and find out. He says there are two principles or three principles for the best success of your business. The first one, customer is the first focus. It's not business, it's not my product. Who must be made happy? The customer be made happy. And second rule for becoming a successful business person, the first rule is I must make my customer successful. I must make my customer happy. I must make my customer rich. These are all his first principle. Second principle, second rule for the better business, don't forget the first rule. That means there is only one rule. If you want to do good in business, if you want to do good, assume DrTPS is able to give lectures. Anybody can give lectures. The success is when there is a doubt, I clarify. When somebody comes back to me with a question, a WhatsApp message is good enough. I keep talking to them, I contact them, I keep supplementing the messages. That relationship, how much you give an advantage of getting into contact and then talk to people. That service, that is what the richest man who is into share business says, customer care is the first one. Second one, don't forget the first rule. So very, very important. Customer relationship is customer service. Customer relationship is customer service. It's not just nice words. Nice service is essential. And very fast. World is very fast. I want everything fast. If I wanted to make sure that things have to work faster, then my business will become faster and better. And after the product is sold, do I get updates? Do I get a buyback? That's all follow-up processes. With all this, a human touch. Your data is known. There are a lot of beautiful videos which talks about how equipments are tracking what is happening to my customer. These are beautiful videos. Customer service representatives and the social. Today, the customer service representative become an equipment. It becomes a social media. What is the difference? The roles changes from the representatives to an angel. Engage the customers. A process which was looked at by the customer service person, now that has become a conversation, because the conversation happens and from there the function is allotted to somebody else without your knowledge. So the function becomes from the process to conversation. You have a person on the desk whom I am talking. Now that has become not a person but a mission, and they talk to multiple people. So it has become a management. There is a well-defined methodology in which I talk to the person. The channels are very clear. I am talking to X person. So tomorrow also I can go to the company and talk to that X person. If I am maintaining my vehicle, I know, oh, this company, this is the individual who is going to look at my vehicle. He knows my vehicle. That's my faith. But today it's not. The channels are very dynamic. It's not static, not one person. Because I go to the company, I leave the car there, I don't know who is going to look at my car. Who is going to look at my maintenance person can be anybody else who get assigned. So the personalized approach is gone today. It has gone, the channels have gone into dynamic from the well-defined individuals. And there is a periodic connection. I go to them. I know 6 months I have to go. But that has gone. Now it is they decide when they have to come. I may not be able to take it in advance, because they will say, no, the time is not up. Your time is after 3 months. Because they channelize, they put that sequence, they prioritize. That's how it works. So the simple transaction has become too much of complicated today. Because of automation, if you are not a person who can understand the complexity of the systems and the third decade of 21st century working, you will have problem. So customer relation, you need somebody who is a human who connects. Sometimes that is essential to increase the customer relation. So the role of customer relation has changed from direct producer to the customer, the seller to the customer, the buyer to the service person. All that is gone. The middleman has to be very good. And that middleman, who is an agency who connects all of them, have got a increased role today. So referrals, which is coming to that, the increased sales, increased market, everything has changed the system of the customer relationship into a different world now.
So what is essential today is you need help, and is there somebody who is ready to help you immediately? I can't hold for the music. Do I get somebody immediately attending me, or do I get a message saying that I am coming up? And if that is there, yes, I get a free mind. I am so happy. And when I talk to somebody, immediately I wanted to them to tell me, oh, this is DrTPS, you are back. That means I am looking for a personal touch who understands me at the other end. When I look for somebody who wanted to help me, I'll be so happy. And today it immediately happens even in automated mode, because they pick up my telephone number, they pick up my place where I am talking, they pick up my email address, immediately they connect. That's a beauty. You don't have to worry whether it is automatic or a personal relationship. Sometimes we have an issue. I don't want to get exposed. I don't want people to know who am I. So what happens? They will tell, oh, don't open my video, close it. Don't tell my identity. I can give a fake identity. Right? So today there are possibilities of cheating. A customer can cheat, a producer can cheat. Your ability to talk to people in a hidden identity is also possible. So sometimes customer relationship has become a fake today. You don't have to believe in the way it was happening earlier. Right? So the recipient of the product and the person whom you are talking. So what do? Sometimes the most advanced business customer relationship, they keep looking at, when you buy the machine, you must tell who is the user. You cannot change the location. You want service, you need to tell this is the person who is going to use this equipment. These are done today. That is to
Ensure you don't do a mistake, because automatically what could happen when you get recorded messages, it keep calling you by the name who was the earlier owner. So you get confused. Maybe the new person who is handling the equipment will become upset because you are being addressed as somebody else. So the product and service, who is holding it, who is using it, that also needs to get updated. Who is looking for the assistance, it needs to get updated. This happens today on your phone. When you wanted to change the phone or hand over the phone to somebody else, you are supposed to change the address, you are supposed to change the custodian's name, otherwise there can be complications. Sometimes customer can get angry, right? As promised, things are not given, the informations are not correct, the service is very slow. If the relationship is not very good, somebody gives a false information. Therefore, the first point what I told is transparency. That has to be very clear. The transparency, one word, includes a lot of things. And good customer service. Sometimes now the overnight programs, right? The philosophy of the customer service, incorporating what is that service and what is the purpose for which it is to be. So you have a supplementary uh, some program which will take care of the necessary requirements, the duplicating, the server duplication, even when you are googling all the time you get responses. Is it, or does it mean that the hardware of the server is never down? It is down. There can be problems. There can be some problems where the data cannot be served, the questions cannot be answered. So how do they do that? They do the mirroring. So the supplementary programs are also part of customer service because it needs. I have got a satellite. I am from space department. So what do? We have got satellites which needs to get connected to this many number of people. But we have dedicated channels which are kept for police people, for army, the service personnel, doctors, because we know in case if there are ships traveling in the sea, all the connections are gone. If the ship is sinking, how do you send this information? There is a rescue operation for which a dedicated channel is kept in all the satellites. Everything is not working. Still, if something happens to the ship, the last alarm will go to the satellite without even the captain's information. And that's a service provider. And what do? Nobody needs to attend. Immediately the satellite will give alarm to the neighboring, whichever is the Navy or the Coast Guard people, and say that there is a ship at this latitude and longitude, go and pick up. That's a service being provided. So there are great organization, products, connectivity, everything is collaborated. Now we have got satellites being launched. There is a satellite calendar. You can look at satellite calendar, which tell you which satellite, which country is being sending. And that calendar will make sure if somebody is uploading the time in which they wanted to put the satellite, immediately they will say, no, on your track there is an aircraft running on that time, or maybe somebody else is sending a satellite. In between that there is another satellite, so your rocket can trouble that, therefore your time has to be changed. So the satellite launching service, beautiful. Atmosphere, the space, the all that, it is not from one shop to one person today. Internationally, throughout the globe, the relationship segments have changed from a small shot, one individual to the nation to nation with the space as the product. So you can understand the interaction, the customer service, the atmosphere, the automation, and how much complication. All these needs to be understood. So customer relationship is not just what was happening few years back. In 2-3 years of time, you can see it has gone exponentially growing. Categories of customers. It can be creating from me to somebody else on reference. So it is all co-created. We keep saying co-created. It can be community to community. It can be automated service. And it can be a self-service which you do in a restaurant for picking up whatever drinks you want, whatever items you want to take. You can imagine. When you talk about the topic customer relationship, we are huge. So it can be a big pyramidal opening, and it goes into a small cone and then opens up into a bigger one. So it's like a conical section, and where in the center is compressed, so it has to pass through. Everything is human. CRM, customer acquisition, customer attraction, customer analysis. This is what is the basis of the customer relationship, in which there can be product visualization, product evaluation, the the behavior of the people, very, very essential. Understanding psychology of customer is very, very essential. Then only you can support them. You can identify them. You can give solutions. All these are in tandem, in relationship. This is what I thought I can tell you. And when it comes to software, beautiful spectrum of relationship building models are also there. How do psychologically, when I talk to somebody who is from India, in which language, in which style, what culture that person has got. When it comes to somebody, an American, I must know what is the culture in which they are there. The segments of customers are segmented based on the culture. The geopolitics has to be understood. When I am talking to somebody on Ukraine, I must know, oh, there is a problem for Ukraine people today. So I must have that, the empathy in them. Then only I must talk to them. Because when you are in trouble, your pressure goes up, your psychology is entirely different. If you don't understand that psychology, definitely you will not be able to give a solution to their problems. So understanding the customer in terms of geopolitical, ethnic, and all that matters in customer relationship. You are replacing mission, which is once upon a time was handled by a individual. So that much of intelligence is essential for doing a customer service today. Okay, I can go on and on. I think we have only few more minutes, so I wish probably people could pose some questions or somebody could take some questions. I'll be happy.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, DrTPS, Dr. TP Sasikumar from India. A big round of applause to our great speaker from India. Actually, his presentation is very unique. Of course, you were asking for his PowerPoint presentation, but he does not usually use PowerPoint because he presents unique topic, okay, and uses his own words to highlight, of course, the topic on customer relations. I'd like to, of course, congratulate Professor DrTPS Sasikumar by emphasizing customer first, okay, in customer relation, and always with the human touch. He also mentioned about long-term relationship, and this is individual to individual relationship and something that is personal. It is always dependent on trust, okay, and also rational influence, and it also encompasses being emotional. Well, aside from that, our resource speaker also made mention about, yeah, the 21st century, but not only the 21st century, but the third decade of the 21st century. Okay, then therefore, customer relations has multiple channels and also cross channel relationships. And yeah, it's a long term relationship. He presented how we deal with our customers, whether we have to look into our market, our sales, our strategies, support systems, and advertisement. So let's give a big virtual round of applause to our resource speaker from Canada, from of course India, Dr. TPS Sasikumar. You know, we're very lucky to have him. He's very intelligent person. Okay, he's a space scientist and yeah, a mathematician. Okay, but he presented the topic with a personal touch with customer relationship. Now, I would just like to thank you, Professor, because you made mention that our relationship has been built, and that's why we've been connecting and we've been giving a lot of talk, okay, in different platforms, and we have built certain relationship. And our students and the participants right now is our customer, and I hope that they also value the sharing this afternoon. Okay.